Hello, my name's Lydia and I'm going to teach you a full 60-minute class today, and I'd like to talk to you about Santosha. Santosha means contentment and an acceptance of what we have in life and who we are, and this leads to contentment. So it's the second niyama, and niyamas are our internal ethics. And the more we see what we have and what we can be grateful for, the more we can cultivate contentment, leading to inner peace. So I'll guide you through this class now. So if you come onto your mats, and we'll start in a seated meditation. So I've got 2 blocks here. So if you haven't got any blocks, that's fine. You can come to a comfortable seat. I like to arrange the blocks with one just tilted forwards. And I can place these here. And I'm going to sit towards the front of the block, and that's going to help me to lengthen through the spine. So if this isn't comfortable for you to sit cross-legged, that's no problem. You can take any kind of comfortable seat, or you can even lie down. So if we are seated, we can lift up through the spine, roll the shoulders back, and place the hands onto the knees. And from the hands being on the knees, that also helps you to find that lift through the chest. And so just coming to a comfortable, easy seat. And then if you're comfortable to do so, you can allow the eyes to gently close. If that's not comfortable for you, you can gaze softly down towards the floor. So just bringing our awareness to the body, considering how we're feeling today, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. Any injuries that we need to be mindful of through our practice. And then becoming aware of the breath. And let's just start by letting our attention rest lightly on the breath. And when the mind starts to wander, seeing if we can become aware and very gently and kindly bring ourselves back. If we become short of breath when we focus on the breath, we can keep our sensations in the body. Maybe on the feeling of the sit bones on the block or on the mat. The uprightness and the length through the spine. And then we're going to bring about a gentle Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi, victorious breath, or ocean breath. So we're just closing off the back of the throat slightly, breathing in and out through the nose. And we're making a sound with our own breath, and the breath soothes us. So the breath sounds like the ocean. So if you're not familiar with the technique, don't worry too much about it. Just see if you can get that audible sound to your own breath. We'll take 10 full breaths. So an inhale and an exhale is 1. Seeing if we can bring about the same quality. So same length to the inhale to the exhale. And the same quality to the first breath as the last breath. We can keep this uprightness with the spine, softening of the shoulders, and definitely a softness to the face and the jaw, and the tongue is resting in the lower palate. A very gentle internal count. And if you lose count, that's fine, just starting again. letting that breath go and observing the breath for a moment. And bring the hands together in front of the heart center. And we'll start with an affirmation. So silently repeating to yourself, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And just listening, seeing if that sits with us easily. Or maybe it's difficult to say. Without judgment. Accepting whatever comes up for us. And then bowing the head down towards the hands. And release the hands, blink the eyes open if they were closed, and then lifting the gaze. So we'll come back to that Ujjayi breath and we'll start to link the movement and the breath together. So we're going to take a full inhale and take the arms wide and reach up. You can start to lift the chin as well. And as you exhale, draw the hands down through the heart center. Same again, inhaling, arms wide, reaching up. Exhaling. Keeping that smooth, audible sound to your breath, ocean breath. Inhale. Chin reaches up as well. Exhale. Do this 2 more times in your own time. Take the arms up one more time, inhale, reach up. As you exhale, release the left hand down to the floor, soften into that elbow and come into a side stretch. You may be able to take the gaze up to the fingertips if that feels comfortable through the neck. Taking 3 deep breaths here as you feel the rib cage expand. Keep grounding down through that right sit bone and softening through both sides of the neck. One more breath. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, release the right hand down, soften into that elbow, and then possibly turning the gaze up. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, ground down through that left sit bone. Another inhale, finding length and space through the side body. Exhale, softening through the neck. One more breath here. Inhaling, reaching both arms up. We're going to exhale and twist to the left. Bring the arms down so the left hand can come behind you. Bring the right hand onto the left leg or left knee. And then use the breath. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twisting a little deeper, drawing the left shoulder back. Another full breath here. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, gently twisting. Inhale, reach both arms up, stretch into the fingertips, lift the chin. Exhale, start to twist to the right, bring the arms down, right hand finds the floor behind you, left hand onto the leg. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, gently twist. And inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, hands down through the center line to the heart center. Take a breath here. If the legs are crossed, you can change the cross of the legs. And then walking the hands forwards into a gentle forward fold. So just walk the hands forward until you naturally stop. And then just allow the head to drop down. And gently, easily, allowing time, gravity to bring you a little bit deeper. If you feel like you can go a little deeper, maybe creeping the fingertips forwards and folding in. Bring your awareness back to the breath, Smooth, even breath. And then walking the hands back. Bring yourselves up. Excellent. We'll come off our blocks now, coming across to tabletop position. So take the blocks off to the side if you were using them. Now I've got a blanket here. I've got a very thick mat, so I don't need it, but you could always lay your blanket across underneath the knees to give you a little bit more support. So spreading through the fingers, we'll bring the hands slightly forwards from the shoulders just to take a little bit of pressure out of the wrists. Tuck the toes. Come through a couple of rounds of cat-cows. And same thing, linking movement with breath. Inhaling, sit bones up, head up, chest up. And exhaling, rounding through the spine. Seeing if we can move through each vertebrae. Dropping the head, tucking the tailbone, and move with the breath at your pace. Inhaling, sit bones up, chest up, head up. And exhaling. Yes, if you feel comfortable to do so, you may wish to close the eyes, drawing the senses inwards and moving from the middle of our body. If you want to make that movement a little bit more dynamic, you can do so. So as you come back, as you round through the spine, you might also start to draw the hips back towards the heels slightly. And as you inhale and come forwards, you might want to rock forwards into the wrists and drop the hips down as you lift the chest up. So just listening to your body, moving through the positions that feel right for you today. Inhaling forwards, hips come down, chest lifts up, head lifts up. And bring yourself back to that neutral position. You're going to take the right toes back, keep the toes tucked on the mat, and then start to push back into that heel so you feel the stretch through the calf. Keep the shoulders level. When you step the foot across off the mat to the left side of the mat, again tuck in the toes, and then gazing back at your left foot. Take 2 deep breaths here. Feel the side body expand. And then we're going to bring that foot all the way forward. See if we can take it to the outside of the right hand. If it doesn't make it all the way there, you can always give it a helping hand. We're going to stop here and just soften down. Let the hips start to melt down. Keep lengthening through the spine, length through the back of the neck. Bring your awareness back to that Ujjayi breath, smooth, even breath. Maybe we can connect with that sense of ease with the breath and possibly even find contentment in our poses. Contentment in the asana. One more breath here. You're going to pick up the back knee, so tuck the toes, lift the knee. And then we're going to see if we can step all the way forwards into a squat. Now if you can't step all the way forward, you can come to standing and then come back down. See if we can take a step forwards, left foot comes to the outside of the left hand and then hips come down. You might find prayer with the hands as you guide the knees out. Now for some of us, our squat looks a little bit more like this, and that's fine. For some of us, we have to have our heels up, and that's also fine. So we've got these 2 energies here. We've got the grounding of the hips moving down, this apana, and then we've got this lifting up, this prana, lengthening all the way to the crown of the head. Let's see if we can take one more full breath here. Bring the hands down. We're going to take a big step back with the right foot now, and then you can drop that back knee down. Again, you've got the option to pad the back knee, or you can always fold over the mat to support that knee. Yeah, soften the hips down, lengthen through the spine, connect with the breath, and can we find a place of contentment, a place where we feel like we may be able to just stay. Breath is smooth. And then then stepping the left foot all the way back to the back of the mat. So you may need to walk your hands back slightly. And then pushing back, finding that calf stretch. Stepping the foot across to the right this time. Toes are still tucked as you gaze back to the foot. Take a deep breath. And one more full inhale. And exhale. And then returning back to your tabletop position. And walk the hands forwards. Come into our puppy dog pose. Elbows come down, head comes down, sit bones lift up as we melt the heart down. If you're very flexible in the lumbar spine, here in the bottom of the spine, you may need to draw the belly up to protect yourself. Stay for one more breath if that feels appropriate. And then slide forwards all the way onto your belly. We'll come into a Sphinx pose. So elbows are now underneath the shoulders. You can take the feet quite wide to the corners of the mat. Gently press down through the tops of the feet and relax the glutes, the big butt muscles. And energetically, we're going to drag the arms gently back so we can lift up through the chest. Slide the shoulder blades down the back and keeping length through the back of the neck. Stay here for a couple of deep breaths. And then release all the way down. Rest the head onto the hands. If it feels nice, maybe take the hips side to side. And then bringing the hands next to the chest, right through the fingers. Push yourself up to a tabletop. You're going to tuck the toes and then draw the hips back, coming into downward facing dog. The hands are shoulder width apart, feet can be hip width apart, and maybe you want to bend into the legs one at a time as you walk your dog, releasing one heel down toward the floor. And then come up high onto the tiptoes of both feet. Really high, get the hips up really high. And now try and move your body towards your legs so the ribs move towards the thighs and then start to soften the heels down. One more breath here. Taking a step forward to the top of the mat. Keep the feet nice and wide as you soften the knees and drape down. Shake out the head. Roll up to standing. Head comes up last. Take the arms really wide as you reach up, gaze up, full extension. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Just take a moment to check the alignment of your feet. Feet hip width, toes facing forwards. Take a full inhale here. And exhale. We'll come through some half sun salutations. So we inhale, take the arms wide, reach up, gaze up. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, flat back stretch, so bring the hands onto the shins or the thighs as you lengthen forwards. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, roll up, reach up, stretch up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. So keep that ujjayi sound going. Inhale. Exhale, folding in. Inhaling, flat back stretch, you can bring the hands to the shins. Exhale, soften the knees to fold down. Inhaling, reaching up. And exhaling, hands to heart. Just closing the eyes. Just connect with the feeling of the feet on the earth. In a moment of acceptance. Acceptance for ourselves in our asana. So not pushing ourselves too hard. Listening to our limitations. Same again. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. And exhale to fold all the way back down. Inhale, flat back stretch. You're going to pull out the hands and this time we're going to step back to a plank. Now if the plank is a little bit too much for us, we can just drop the knees here in our plank. Keep engaging the abdominal muscles by lifting the belly up. Otherwise we're in one straight line. Then we're going to lower down to the floor, so take a full inhale here. And then as we exhale, you can drop the knees, lowering down. Inhale, come into your back bend, gentle cobra, and release. Push yourself back to tabletop and back to down dog. Take a full inhale in your down dog. And exhale, press the thighs back. Inhale, push the mat away with the hands. And exhale. Look up to the top of the mat and make your way up to the hands. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, roll up, reach up, stretch up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Make a full inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, flat back stretch. Exhale, we can take a big step back with the right foot. Let's take a moment to get this alignment of the knees stacked over the ankle. Get yourself really long here. You're going to reach the left arm up, so plant the right hand down, reach the left arm up, turn the belly, turn the chest, and maybe even gaze up to the fingertips. Take a full inhale, and exhale. And then extending the fingertips towards the top of the mat, keep opening the chest, stretch from the back foot to the fingertips. And then releasing the hand down to frame the foot. Now, we're going to step this left foot back and come into a side plank. So it's going to come all the way over the top and bind the floor behind. And then reaching up with the left arm. Push the hips forwards and up. And then releasing that hand down. Come back into your plank. Now you've always got the option to come to a little child's pose here and have a rest. Take a full inhale in your plank. And as you exhale, you can either come down to the floor in one straight line or drop the knees and then lower. Inhale into your back bend. Maybe a gentle cobra. And exhale, release. Push yourself back to a tabletop. Back to down dog. And take a full inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, really push the mat away with the hands. And exhale, press the thighs back. And a big step up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. Grounding the left hand, reach the right arm up, turn the belly, turn the chest. Maybe taking the gaze up. And again, if this is too much, you can always drop that back knee down. And then stretching towards the top of the mat, finding a length from the back foot to the fingertips. Maybe even still gazing up to the fingers. Take one more breath here. And then releasing that hand down. And same thing, we're going to step the right foot all the way over the back leg as we roll onto the outside edge of the back foot. Reach the arm up, push the hips forwards and up. Take a breath. And then releasing the hand down. Good. So options here to come straight into your down dog, have a rest in child's pose or vinyasa. So inhaling in your plank, exhale to lower. Inhale for your back bend, cobra, rat dog. And then exhaling back to down dog. Catch the breath as soon as you come into your down dog. One more full breath. Making your way up to the top of the mat. Lengthen through the spine. And then fold in, soften through the knees. Let's just pause and stay here for a couple more breaths. We can interlink the hands behind the head. And apply gentle pressure. See if we can get the crown of the head releasing down. See if we can get the ribs onto the thighs. So bend the knees as much as you need to. And then it's up to you whether you start to try to straighten the legs. But really finding that length through the spine. Release the arms down, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reach up, full extension. Exhale, hands to heart. closing the eyes in our Tadasana, bringing your awareness to the four corners of the feet, your connection to the earth. Thighs pressing back, lengthening through the spine. Breastbone lifting into the thumbs. Shoulders rolling back. Stay with that Ujjayi breath. See if we can make it gentle and easy. And finding a moment of ease, acceptance, contentment for ourselves. Bring the feet together, opening the eyes. You can take a tree pose. So using the hands, you can bring the right foot up. So turn the right toes out so you've got this external rotation in the thigh. And then lifting the leg up. So it may come, I'll show you from the front, it may come onto the lower leg, or you can use the hand and bringing it up. Bring the hands together. And if you've got your balance, want to take the arms up, you can do so. Finding a dristi, so a spot to focus on with the eyes. Keeping the eyes still keeps the mind focused, helps us to balance. Take another breath. And then exhale, releasing. Good, we'll come into the second side, but just take a breath, reconnect with that downward energy, the connection of your feet on the earth. Feeling centered, rooted. Good. Turning the left toes out. To get this strong external rotation. And then bringing the leg up. Again, if you're really unstable and want to use fingers on the wall, that's absolutely fine. Use the hand to guide the leg up. And then push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Maybe the hands come to the heart center, or we can reach the arms up. Come back to the breath. Can we find ease with our breath and contentment in the pose? So just scanning through, are we over-efforting? Can we keep the shape of the asana whilst we find ease? And then release. Coming back to the top of the mat, if you'd move, feet hip width apart. Just take a moment for that alignment, toes facing forwards. Take a clearing breath here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale, take the arms wide, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, soften to fold down. Inhale, flat back, hands may come to the shins. Hands come down to the earth as you exhale and step the right foot back. You're going to seal that back foot down. And bring the left hand onto the left shin as you straighten the left leg and reach the right arm up. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Then turning from the belly, turn the chest, maybe even taking the gaze up. Now if this is a little bit too strong for us and we have a block, we can always place a block just behind the leg there to give us a little bit more support. Take one more breath here. And then bend into that front leg and reach the left arm up as you drop the right arm down, taking the gaze up for reverse warrior. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, drop the arm onto the leg. Take the right arm up and over. Feel the extension from the back foot all the way through the side body up to the fingertips. And again, if you've got your balance and feel like you can gaze up, you can do so. Take one more breath here. And drop the top arm down to then rise yourself back up. And as you exhale, just land into your warrior two. Turning the gaze over the front hand. And drawing the back shoulder back. So really encouraging this openness of the hips, openness of the shoulders. One more breath here. We're going to straighten that front leg. And lean and reach towards the top of the mat, coming through the same sequence. Drop the hand down, Trikonasana. Again, option to use the block. And turn the belly, turn the chest, really push into the outside edge of the back foot. And then bend into that front knee as you lift the front arm up, drop the back arm down, reverse warrior. Take a breath. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, bring the arm onto the thigh. Right arm up and over. Drop the top arm down. Sweep yourself up into warrior two and exhale, land in the pose. Checking that that knee is tracking the toes, following the toes. Drawing this right shoulder back. Gazing over the fingers of the front hand. One more breath. We're going to windmill the hands down now to frame the foot. Pivot on the toes of the back foot, so you're here in this lunge position. Now, same options, down dog, child's pose, or vinyasa. Stepping back, taking an inhale here, so we can use the whole of the exhale to lower to the floor, either one straight line or knees down. Inhale, either cobra or up dog. And exhale, back to your down dog. Catch the breath in the down dog. Look up to the top of the mat, stepping forwards. We're going to fold in, and again we're going to stay for a few extra breaths, and either just dangling down, or you may feel comfortable to catch a hold of the elbows. Take a real gentle, subtle sway of the elbows. And then releasing. Come into that flat back stretch. You may feel a little bit more warmed up now, where you can keep the fingertips to the floor. And then we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. Come into that long lunge position. Seal the back foot down, coming into our second side, and rising up, bring the hands onto the shin, Trikonasana, so straightening the front leg, left arm reaches up. Turn the belly, turn the chest, maybe take the gaze up. Connect with the breath, ease to the breath, and ease to the pose. Bending into the front leg, lifting the right arm up as the left arm drops down, maybe even gazing up, taking a breath. Take another inhale as you stretch up. And exhale as you bring the right arm onto the right thigh, left arm up and over, really pushing down to that back edge of the left foot, stretching into the fingertips. Take a full breath. Sweep the top arm down, rise up into your warrior two. As you exhale, descend and land. Turning the gaze to look over the right fingertips. Draw the left shoulder back. Reaching towards the top of the mat as we straighten our front leg. Bringing the hand down for triangle pose again. Trikonasana again, same option. We can always use the brick here to give us a little bit more height. We can always come onto the fingertips as well. So bend into that front leg, reaching up with the right arm, reverse warrior. And one more inhale as we find length. And exhale as we release the right arm onto the right thigh, left arm up and over, extended side angle. Dropping the top arm down and rising up for warrior two as you exhale to descend and land, arriving in your pose. Windmill the hands down to frame the foot. Pivot on the toes of the back foot, and time for vinyasa. Same options, dog or child's pose. Stepping back, inhaling here. Use the whole of the exhale nice and slow, lower it down. Inhale for your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Catch the breath. And then drop down to the knees. Bring the feet together, knees wide. Come to a child's pose. You may even want to bring the arms back. Just give the shoulders a little rest. Maybe even just rolling gently side to side across the forehead, across the third eye. And then resting in the middle. Staying with the smooth, constant Ujjayi ocean breath. And then bringing the arms forwards, find that length in your child's pose. And then bring yourself gently up and find your down dog. As soon as you come into your dog, connect with your breath. See if you can make small adjustments to improve the alignment. So you might want to bend the knees so that you can really lengthen through the spine and then start to straighten the legs again. Step up to the top of the mat, lengthen and fold in. Inhale, rolling up, reach up, stretch up, full extension. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a clearing breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lowering down to the floor in your way, maybe knees. Inhale, rolling up for your back bend. And exhale, back to dog. Bring the feet together in your down dog. Reach the right leg up for three-legged dog. So you can keep the toes facing down. And then kicking the heel towards the back side as you start to twist and reach that right knee up towards the ceiling. You may like to gaze between the hands and keep the shoulders level. Take a breath here. And then bringing that knee forward, so coming into a pigeon pose. So right knee's coming forwards towards the right wrist. And then stepping back with that left leg to bring yourself down. Now, if this isn't working for us in this position here, we may need to take some support and prop up that right sit bone, like that. And now if this really isn't good for us, especially on this knee, we can essentially do the same pose, but coming onto the back body. And we can come into this figure four shape, crossing the right ankle over the left knee, staying there, or if you want a little bit more sensation, threading the hands around the back of the left thigh. This is essentially the same shape. Otherwise we're here on the front, with the right leg folded. Now we're trying not to twist through the back legs, so keep that left knee facing down. And if you can't control the foot, keep the toes tucked. There. And then we're going to draw ourselves down towards the floor. Move my cups. And I want you to take your fingers out wide. Fingers out wide onto the fingertips, and you can lower down. As you inhale, you can ripple up. Move with the breath. Inhaling, chest up, head up. Exhaling, rolling down. One more. And this time as we come down, we can rest down, maybe making some support for our head with our hands. The hips are level, shoulders are level, or at least we're working towards that. Bringing our awareness back to that breath. And see if we can just soften around the edges in our pose, just noticing if there's any holding or tension. And just by becoming aware of it, maybe we can soften, and again finding that contentment in the pose. So as soon as we become aware that there isn't contentment, just by becoming aware of that can bring about an ease. And even if it doesn't, Can we have acceptance for ourselves? Acceptance for our bodies, the shape that we make. And really bring in awareness to the face, seeing if we can soften through the face, the tongue, the jaw, shoulders moving away from the ears. We're going to start to think about moving, lifting ourselves up gently. We're going to bring the left leg forwards. Let's slide the right foot out to the side. So the right foot's now next to the left thigh. Good. Bring your fingertips inside, lengthen. And then walking the fingers forwards. Just come to that place you naturally stop. And then drop the head down. Again, trying not to push ourselves, but just allowing ourselves to ease into the pose. Keep grounding down through this right leg. Now, if this leg isn't grounded, you should take a block and maybe just place this underneath to give you some support. You can always keep a little bend into this knee if that feels more appropriate. Smooth breath. Easy breath. And guide yourselves back up. And step this right foot over the left leg. Hug that knee as you lift up out of the lower spine. And then taking the right hand behind you, and you can hug this leg a little bit tighter if you want with this left arm to help guide you round, twisting. So you can either keep a hold of the leg. If you want to take the elbow to the outside of the leg, you can. And if you know the bind, by all means, threading the arm through and catching hold. Again, listening to our limitations, finding a place of working that's appropriate for us today. And a place of contentment in the pose. As you inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, gently twist, draw the right shoulder back. Let's stay for one more breath. And then release, going back to Zen-tan. We're going to bring the soles of both feet together now, coming into seated butterfly position, Baddha. And you can hold onto the feet or the legs again as you lift up out of the lower back, lengthening. And then maybe we can start to hinge forwards, gently draw in the chest through the arms, and again just dropping the head down. Maybe the elbows find the inside of the thighs. And then releasing, bringing ourselves back up. We can take ourselves back into our plank with the option to vinyasa. Now, if you don't want to vinyasa now, that's absolutely fine. You can stay on the floor and meet us back in pigeon pose. From here, take an inhale, and exhale, lowering down to the floor. Inhale for your back bend, and exhale, down dog. Bring the feet together. As you take the left leg up for three-legged dog, keeping the leg facing down. Kick the heel towards the backside, start to lift that left knee up and twist. You might want to look between the hands so you can keep the shoulders level. Maybe even start to release that right heel down to the floor. Coming forwards into our pigeon pose. So left knee comes forwards toward the left wrist. Stepping back with that right knee. Taking the fingertips out to the side. So again, this is where if we needed support, we can prop up the left sit bone here. So taking one of the blocks underneath the left sit bone. Fingertips out to the sides, we're high up on the fingertips. And then exhaling, folding down. And inhaling, rippling up, chest lifting up. Move with the breath. Exhaling down. And inhaling, rolling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhale down, this time making a pillow for the head with the hands. As we soften down and find our shape within this pigeon pose. Noticing if there's any areas which are over-efforting, if there's any tension that we can just become aware of, invite relaxation. And shoulders moving down away from the ears. Length through the spine. Keeping our awareness with the body, with the breath. And then thinking about moving gently, slowly. Bring ourselves back up. Bringing the back leg forwards, all the way forwards. Sliding the left foot out, so the left foot finds the inside of the right thigh. Fingertips either side of the straight leg as you lengthen, and then creep the fingers forwards. Again, you can place a bend in this leg, you can support the left leg. When you come to that place where you go no further, don't push, don't force, just soften in, drop the head. Acceptance of where we are, acceptance of ourselves as we breathe and move into the space. We cannot be at our maximum and then stretch deeper. We need to have some space and allow the body to come into the shape. Soften through the face, relax the tongue. Gently guide yourselves back up, stepping the right foot over the left leg, hugging that knee so that you can really lift up out of the lower back and lengthen. And then coming into the twist, so the left hand's coming behind, gently twisting, guiding that left shoulder back. An option to keep hugging this leg, and I really like that option there, as you squeeze the leg in, nice and close to lengthen. Otherwise you can take that elbow to the outside, or find the bind if you're confident with that. And every day we come to our mats, we must listen to how our body feels today. This is a part of the practice of acceptance, Santosha, contentment. And then release and unravel. We're going to make our way down onto our back body now. So bring the feet to the mat, roll yourself down. And we'll come through a couple of bridge poses. Again, I'll give you a little an option here. If you wanted to use support and take a supported bridge pose, then you can do that. So you may take a brick like this and place it underneath the sacrum, and then you can be in the static pose. If you want a little bit more height, you can turn the block. If you want a bit less, obviously taking a flat block. Otherwise, we can do this pose unsupported, feet hip width, feet parallel. So we're starting in this neutral spine. We've got this soft arch of the lower back, constructive rest. And then we're going to close off that gap as you push the spine down, peel yourselves up. stay here, pushing the arms down, keeping this space behind the neck. Or otherwise we might be able to roll the shoulders under one at a time and then interlink the hands as we push the arms down, push the feet down, and lift the hips up. Taking a few deep breaths here. Release the arms and see if we can roll down one vertebra at a time. And as you land, reconnect with that neutral pelvis. So draw the pubic bone down toward the floor. Find that soft arch at the back and take a few resting breaths. And again, we're going to push that back down as we peel ourselves up. Option to stay here, or walking the shoulders under. Find the bind with the hands. Push the hands and arms down, push the feet down. Really looking to feel the effort in the front of the thighs. Connect with the breath, smooth, even breath. Release the arms, roll back down. And bring yourselves into that neutral spine, that constructive rest. And draw the knees in, wrap the arms around the legs, give yourselves a squeeze, a little rock from side to side. Now, option to take the legs wider and come into this reclined child's pose. Or we might come into happy baby. And our happy baby could be holding onto the back of the thighs, or maybe reaching up and catching hold of the outside edges of the feet. Keep drawing the sacrum down. So main aim here is to have the whole spine supported. Sacrum, tailbone down on the mat. We're going to stay for a few moments here. I'd like to use an affirmation. So silently repeating to ourselves, I am content and grateful for all that I have. I am content and grateful for all that I have. Releasing down, and the feet down to the mat. And come into a gentle supine twist to finish. So shuffle the hips a couple of inches to the left. Arms reach out at shoulder height, and then guide the knees down to the right. If you want some support, you can always place a block under the knees. And if it feels comfortable, you can start to turn your head over the left shoulder. Seeing if we can encourage the shoulder blades to stay grounded. And stay with the breath here. We'll take 3 deep breaths. And then guide yourselves back up to center, shuffling the hips across a couple of inches to the right and drawing the knees down to the left. Maybe turning the head the opposite way. The knees. If you're comfortable, close the eyes. Just switching off that thinking brain. Senses scanning through the body. 3 deep breaths. Guiding yourselves back up. Draw the knees in. So you can inhale here. And exhale for Shavasana. So I'll Shavasana is our corpse pose, our final resting pose. Now it may be that you want to come into constructive rest with the feet on the floor. Otherwise you can take the legs wide, legs straight, arms straight, palms face up. It's a slight tuck of the shoulders in towards the spine to facilitate this opening of the chest. If the chin is really reached up towards the ceiling and we can't lengthen through the back of the neck, then taking a flat block as a pillow to bring the head into neutral. So finding a position that works for you and staying here in our Shavasana, our corpse pose, resting. We're just going to take a moment to scan through the body. Starting down with the feet. Just paying attention if there's any gripping or holding. Just becoming aware. Moving our awareness up through the legs. Allowing them to release. Just be heavy and roll out. And softness through the hips, the belly, the abdomen. And just allowing the breath to go completely without control now, completely natural. Just allowing the body to breathe. And scanning up through the sides of the waist, to the chest, shoulders melting down. Allowing the arms to be heavy, palms soft. And bringing your awareness back to the center, through the throat, the jaw. Maybe licking the lips and swallowing to release any tension through the jaw. And allowing the tongue to rest softly in the lower palate. Softening through the cheeks. Let the eyes recede, being heavy. And then broadening across the brow, so smoothing out the forehead. And releasing the hairline. Even the internal grip of the body, the brain, the ears, the organs. And then coming down the back body, the whole of the back body being held by the earth. Allowing yourself to be held. And really connecting with the sensation of heaviness. With every breath, expanding this heaviness as the muscles relax. And committing to this deep rest, this stillness, these last few moments for ourselves. Noticing where the awareness is, gently ourselves back. Noticing if any tension's crept in, paying particular attention to the face as we soften. Starting to deepen the breath, allowing our senses to come gently back into the room. Bringing some really gentle movements of fingers and toes. You can pick yourselves up and move how you like, maybe reaching the arms up, stretching through the whole body. And then as you bring the arms down, you might like to draw the knees into the body and wrap your arms around the legs. And rolling onto the side body for a couple of breaths. And slowly, gently making your way up to an easy seat. And we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. And just sitting for a moment, considering how we feel at the end of our practice, without judgment. And bring into mind, in these last few moments of our practice, just one thing that you are grateful for in your life at this moment. And allow that gratitude to fill your heart, feeling the sensation of gratitude. And then we'll finish with a moment of gratitude for ourselves and each other, for taking this time for our self-care and sharing this practice together. And bow the head down to the hands. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me today.